Welcome to Lead Like a Girl, where we are empowering everyday women through our stories. I'm your host, Jessica Smith, and I began this journey by sharing my life story. Now, I've joined forces with my longtime friends, Jamie and Corlin, to keep this party going. We met many years ago as young sales girls in our 20s, driven and quickly rising to the top of our industry. As the years went on, life happened, and we all found ourselves in new companies and completely different industries, still striving for success in it all. Career, family, faith, fun. Now, it wasn't easy, but we never stopped moving. Get ready for our real conversations, inspiring stories, and our big life lessons as we share it all. The good, the bad, and the funny. Welcome to Lead Like a Girl. Hello, and welcome to Lead Like a Girl. I am super excited today. First, I want to remind you to follow us on all social media, Lead Like a Girl Lab. Our website, Lead Like a Girl Lab, TikTok, Facebook, follow us. We're not out here making these TikTok videos for nothing, y'all. Follow us on social media. So today is a huge day for Lead Like a Girl. So we mentioned before that eventually we'd get to the point where we start having guests. And for y'all that know who this beautiful face is right here, we have our first guest is Mary. And I'm gonna tell you
clapping, clue.
So listen, as y'all see, she's representing, so you can get your Lead Like a Girl at Lead Like a Girl Lab. You can get your swag. That rhymed. So listen, y'all, Mary is from our DB family. And when we talk about life after DB, when we talk about Lead Like a Girl, when we talk about our roots and where we came from, she has a very similar story. So I'm excited for her to join us as our first guest here at Lead Like a Girl. And we're just going to kick off by, and we didn't talk about this because Mary, like me, she doesn't want to know anything in advance. She just wants to talk.
You're bold, girl. You're bold.
Right. Especially when you don't know what might come out of this mouth. So
Exactly.
I just want to know. So Mary, I'll let you tell a little bit of a quick story of how you came about as a DB employee. And then after you kind of give us a little highlight of where your life at DB started, I just want to know, what is your craziest? You can pick either one of us, but your craziest, funniest, whatever memory of any one of us, the first thing that comes to your mind when you was like, I knew that crazy, whoever it is, because we know we all have a little bit of that.
Right?
And you know there's so many. Oh my God.
Right. And so I don't know if you were there, but Jamie got me with the story about her getting stuck in another country off the boat, and we had to talk ourselves back on the boat. That was a good one. So anyway, so first kind of tell us a little bit about when or who you started with DB.
So, hi guys. My name is Mary May. I'm so enthused to be on you guys' podcast today. Like seriously, I went and got made up and everything for this. So,
you're gorgeous. Got your swag on. You're doing good.
Yes, I think it's amazing to be around amazing women like you guys. So that's one of the things. I'm glad that all these years we're still able to keep in touch. So that really touches my heart. But I got started probably like you, Jessica. Like I said, our stories are so much alike that it's ridiculous. But I started DirectBuy when I was a baby, 18 years old, about to turn 19. Moved to Houston looking for a job because I had a baby. And I'm thinking, oh my God, I need to find work. And I went through, in Houston, Texas, there's these newspapers you could pick up called The Green Sheet.
Wow.
And it's kind of like a Craigslist, but in a newspaper. Mm-hmm. So I kind of went through and I circled things and went on an interview with, it was called United Consumers Club back then. So went on that interview, gave me a job, but it was a sales job, like cold calls on the phone. So remember this. I remember one day I get called in.
And now this is where the difference starts. Go ahead.
Yes, cold calls. We get a list and we're calling these people. I sucked at it, completely sucked. And you would think my personality, but me, asking people to buy something is not me. So I remember being called in to the office of our owner as well as the marketing director at the time, and I was like, I'm getting canned today. And then they told me,
Just
you know what?
make it easy. Make it easy.
Yes, yes. I was like, okay, I'm about to get canned today. And I just remember I was like, Lord, I don't know what I'm going to do, but if it's your will. So when they call me in, they go, you know what? You do not have the personality to be on the phone. You have the personality to be in customer service in front of people.
Face to face.
Yes. So then they said, so we're offering you a job in our customer service. Hey, thank you. More money. And that's
You got
something
canned
that,
and hired in the same day, girl.
yes. And then that's something that I enjoy. So did that for years. I was with DirectBuy 14 and a half years.
Oh my
Thought that was my life.
OG.
Yeah.
My first job.
Yep.
My long time job, thought I would never leave that place, right? Until our owner decided to sell. And then on the way, I tell everyone, because, they always ask, how do you know Jessica? And I'm like, through my first job, but we did not work together. We saw each other twice a year when we were at conference and then summit. So I think my most memorable moment is my very first conference in the Bahamas. I think that was in 1999.
Who was
it in
there?
99 or 98?
Yeah.
It was,
That was at the
in
Atlantis,
99.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, in 99. I remember I met Jessica. And she was this loud chick. And I'm thinking, oh my
Loud as
God,
shit.
who is she? I need to be hanging out with her.
Right.
And I think that was one of my memorable moments. And I remember one time I tried to hook her up with the guy that I ended up started dating years later.
I don't remember that.
I tried to hook her with a girl, and she was like, girl, he is lame. And I was like, no, you have to get to know him. Most men are quiet to,
Did he work for DirectBuy?
Yeah, he was our warehouse director. Yeah.
Oh.
And she was
I finally made my way to the warehouse guy. Just not that one.
Yes. See, and so did I. Like I said, our stories are just so crazy. So that's how I know these wonderful ladies, and all of them are freaking bad. Let me tell you. I mean, just every year, with myself being in the top 5 in customer service for years, I pride myself on making sure, because even today I was having a conversation with my daughter and her boyfriend, that he was trying to get money back from the insurance company. And he was like, they were making me mad. And I said, what did you say to him? Oh, I went off on him. I said, oh, if you were in my showroom going off on me 12 and a half years ago, guess what? You're not getting anything.
Right.
I'm only give you the bare minimum. I said, you have to treat people at a certain level. And then tell them like where you feel like they failed, but don't just go in and go crazy on them.
You can't hit them over the head. You gotta ease it in.
You gotta get what you need first.
Exactly.
So, and I've learned that from being, a customer service manager for 14 and a half years. Like,
yeah.
Every day, people don't think you're a customer every single day. It doesn't matter what you do. Whether you're on the phone with someone, even with me now, being an HR manager, I'm on the phone with people, and with especially employees, they call me all day and they will tell you I'm the same person. I treat them as though we are colleagues and not that they're my subordinates, because they need something from me. So yes.
Yep.
So that's how I got started in DirectBuy, and that's how I know these crazy and beautiful ladies, and my most memorable moment of DirectBuy.
So let me ask you this. So when you think of, because you said 18, for me it was 19, and we've talked about this before, the skills that we know that were formed during those years. So when you think of the skills that were taught, when you think of your mentorship, because I don't know if all of the DB franchise owners drank out of the same Kool-Aid glass. I don't know, but they all were very similar. They all shared something. And what would you say are those solid skills that have led you to being a successful businesswoman today that you know that were formed at DirectBuy?
Our owner, Dan Tidwell, and bless his soul, because he died 6-7 years ago on Valentine's Day, but he put a lot into his employees. It wasn't about making money for him at all. He was a family guy. He was such a family guy. When I had my daughter, when I worked there. His wife came and picked up my daughter every day. Didn't want her to go to daycare. We ended up getting a nanny, but she didn't even want us to get a nanny. She wanted to take care of Avery every single day. And one of the things that he instilled in me, one of the things he told me, always ask for what you want. You have to ask for what you want, because if you depend on someone to give you something, they will always fall short of that. So he always came to me. He goes, what do you want? Like, I opened up a second store. What do you want to run that store? It was always, what do I want? And he said, and then the negotiations can start. But don't ever like lowball yourself. So that was a skill that I still have today. Like, I'm going to ask for what I want. Also, you know, I was a female in charge of 2 stores, you know, so around all these men. And sometimes that's unheard of, you know. But that was one of the things. I never felt like a man could do more than what I can, you know. So, and I teach my daughter that as well. Like, always be sure that you work hard. And a lot of times as women, even a minority woman, we have to work harder and prove ourselves a little bit harder. But the more work I put into it and people see like my heart, because I put my heart into everything, then they know like, hey, this girl is it, you know?
Yeah. Yep. And like Mark taught me, like Darren taught them, Dan taught you. And it was really, I mean, all of that, that's a common theme, that this was family. So listen, every time I try not to, I love it. I talk about it a lot, but if I get too into it, I get a little emotional to this day, because it's still something that it's almost it's past 7 years and I still haven't gotten over it. When you think of, when you left, like, how did you get to that next? And what was that next? Because we're talking about a lot of years that we just talked about family and mentorship and all of that. It's like, how did you get to the next? Was it hard? And what was next? Where'd you go after that?
I cannot say it was hard. It was put before me. It was fear, not hard. And now I learned that when God has something for you, don't be fearful. And when God closes a door, he always opens another door, especially if you're faithful. So with us, Dan sold both of his stores. He didn't even sell them. Corporate came in because he couldn't find a buyer to take over. Who they sent in, I was like, this is not going to work for me. First of all, they felt like I made way too much money as a customer service manager. And they were like, what the heck? And I was like, yeah, what you're not going to do is belittle my knowledge and my skills. You know, that's not what you're going to do. So, you know, working for DirectBuy, I know all the members. You know, I'm with them all the time. The good thing about my members, I probably only had a few members that ever asked me to come work for them, just bluntly, you know. But a lot of them would say, if you ever need a job, call me. If you ever need this, call me. So I opened up that Rolodex and called the person I knew that I would ever want to work for next to see what she would say. And if not, I would move on to the next one. And lo and behold, I'm still there. I'm working for a doctor who owns a hospice. That's who I work for, one of her hospice. But she owns, it's called Next Level Urgent Care. And she started in Houston. And she owns like all throughout Texas now, like a ton, like maybe 50 of these urgent cares. But she owns one hospice with a partner, and that's who I work for. And look at God, because when I asked her, she said, you know, I have so many places you could go and work, but I'm opening up a hospice. I think you would fit well there. When I went in and interviewed, and mind you, when, you know, coming from me, I had a lot of people working for me back then at DirectBuy. So anything I needed, whether it was a spreadsheet or a PowerPoint, someone made that for me. You know what I mean? So when she was telling me what I was going to be doing, I was honest with her. I was like, hey, I don't know how to do a PowerPoint. I don't know how to do an Excel spreadsheet. Of course, I took a Microsoft course, but it wasn't extensive back then like they teach you now in college, right?
Right.
She was like, it's okay, I'll teach you. I'm like, okay.
That's awesome. That's a conversation that we've all had, that coming out of the company, there were so many skills coming out of that. However, there was a significant gap in just soft skills, right? Just
Yes.
how you manage your email. How do you?
Because I could
We just
type
didn't have
fast
to. We just
as I don't know what. But
yeah.
I'm like, you're
We
talking
had a
about a
specific
PowerPoint.
system. We were on the phone. It was just it was
Yes.
challenging getting out into the actual reality of life.
Like I said, it was
outside of this.
fearful for me. And I said, I
Mhm.
have to tell this lady. I can't show up in 2 weeks and say, what the heck? But let me tell you what I did. I spent a week, literally every night, entire weekends, taught myself how to do Excel. Then taught myself how to
That's
do
awesome.
PowerPoint.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks later, she opens up an Excel spreadsheet. She goes, because that's all I do. I work on spreadsheets all day, percentages, spreadsheets. And I started typing, and she goes, well, we're going to do an employee list. And I was like, okay. So I started typing, adding. She goes, hold up. So what part of Excel do you not know? And I go,
Thought you
oh,
didn't know how to do
I
this.
said, oh, I didn't know any of
No
it, but
parts.
I took some YouTube classes for the last 2 weeks.
That's
She
true.
said,
Love it.
this is why I hired you.
There you go.
She said,
There
right,
you go.
Motivation,
you
yeah.
didn't come in and wait for me to teach you this. You went home and you taught yourself.
Yeah.
And that's the
Mhm.
one thing that I've always noticed about you and love about you. So
Yep.
after that, I'm no longer fearful whatsoever. Like if things change or whatever, or something happens, I'm like, God has my back, always has. And I know I could literally, if I could move on from DirectBuy, my very first job, after being
Right.
there for 14 and a half years, I have the confidence to pretty much do anything.
Mm.
Yeah. I love that. Speaking of do anything, our last episode that we recorded, Corlin brought this awesome topic of side hustles. And another thing that DirectBuy taught us was that entrepreneurial spirit, because I know you guys, like me, Mark was like, you run this business like it's your business.
Right.
Right.
Mhm.
And the goal for a lot of us was eventually it would be our business. And we knew that. So with that, I think that work ethic and the skills and the confidence to see that business grow and develop and be part of that probably left that entrepreneurial spirit in all of us. So, tell us a little bit about your side hustles, your success. And also, I'm going to throw in that after all these years, talk about full circle, Mary and I found ourselves, remember, I'm in Chicago, she's in Houston, then I'm in California, way on the other side of the country. And then here we are both in the ATL.
Yes.
It just happened
Mhm.
that way. It's crazy. And now we're both in the ATL. But tell us about because I know it's connected, right? We know that those skills and all of those things. What are some of the things that you are up to now that you would call that side hustle or whatever you would call it?
Girl, you could, like most
A
people
lot.
say, she's Jamaican. 'Cause- yes, it's so funny because someone told me that the other day. They're like, "Girl, you a hustler." I'm like, "Oh
Yeah.
yes," and that's true. That's one thing that DirectBuy taught us. Because one of the things that we did for DirectBuy too, Dan had bought the guy I was dating at DirectBuy. He purchased a van and let him do all the deliveries. He didn't want to cut from it. He just told him that was something that he wanted to do on the side. He was smart enough to go get people, hired people while he worked.
And Mr. Smith did that too, by the way.
Yes, yes. So which was amazing. But now after watching all of that, years later, after my first marriage, literally 20 years later, I got married again. So it's been 4 years now that I'm married, my amazing husband, and moved to Atlanta.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
that's
We
how
love.
that's how we're in the same city. Because I remember when Jessica first called me when I was in Houston. And she was like, girl, I don't know what I'm going to do. They're going to close down here. At first, I was like, move to Houston. I'm so glad she didn't.
She did.
Yes, because I would have moved here. She would have still been in Houston. And she said, I have decisions, and she moved here. But just a few of my side hustles. My husband is a film maker. So when I say a filmmaker, he's a director. He edits movies. He writes movies. So that's one of my side hustles. I work for him whenever he's doing a movie. So I do all his accounting, all his bookkeeping, all his contracts. Which he just did a major movie called
And a little acting. You were in that movie.
Yeah, see, I wasn't going to even say that because, like I said, I have so many side hustles. I am actually in that movie as a teacher. I always forget my name until people walk up to me and say, Mrs. Jenkins. I'm like, are they talking about 227? Like, what the heck? Like Mary from 227? Mary Jenkins. And
I used to watch that show as a little kid. I love that show.
Yes. So I'm thinking that's what I forgot. My name was Miss Jenkins in this because I was a teacher. But yes, it's called the Andre Rison Story. It's called Wide Open, the Andre Rison Story. It's on Prime Tubi and Apple TV at this moment. So that's one of my hustles. Another hustle is, believe it or not, my husband and I rent out our backyard. So we rent out our backyard a lot.
Yeah, it's not a normal backyard, but go ahead.
So when we do that, I'm the bartender, so I make a lot of tips doing that. That's one of my side hustles. But something that is very dear to our heart that we just started in October is we just started a nonprofit. It's called ShowerUp, where we bought a bus. We're going to gut this bus, put bathrooms on it, and we're actually going to give showers to the unhoused around Atlanta and the suburbs of Atlanta. So that's our new baby that we're working on right now. And I pray that it's so successful. We're talking to a lot of other counties too. That's why we're not just doing Atlanta. We've spoken to some people in Columbus that want us to come because they just started like their unhoused outreach program. And they were like, we would love, to team up. So that's one of our things that hopefully we'll have a ribbon cutting in like October. We're still kind of waiting on the IRS, but that is one of the things we're working on. We want to give back to our community. So
how did you come up with that? What was your motivation to think of that idea?
The craziest thing. Everyone always asks me that, but it was crazy. My sister's best friend always tells us, she was like, I was in the car when they thought about this. And she was so right. We were in Houston, actually. And we were driving down one of the streets to my old home. And there was a homeless guy up under a bridge. He looked very clean, and he was sweeping like his area. And I was like, that's odd, but hey.
Probably something I would do though,
hey,
but go ahead.
But yeah, said maybe this is not where he wants to be. And I said, the only thing that he needs is probably a shower. And as we're riding down, my husband says, a shower, huh? And I go, we should give showers to the unhoused. Like, we just thought of it that quick. Wow. And now that it's not something that we thought of, because once we got our board together, once we started, like, my husband started looking for names, there's other people around here that does the same thing. Mm-hmm. So it's not just, we thought that we were just something we thought of. But a lot of people are doing it. They're just not doing it the way that we're doing it. We
just talked about this.
Yeah.
We literally just talked about this on the last episode too, which is sometimes people think that, oh, everybody's doing that. And I said, listen, I had a situation where I shared a lot of information with someone else. And someone's like, you shouldn't have shared all that. I said, I can give somebody my whole bag of tricks, but guess what? They can't do it like I do it.
Yes.
So everybody's going to do something different. Yep.
That is true. Because once we looked up, they have like trailers that they've done. We have a whole bus that we literally purchased. Our other company purchased it, and we're going to donate it to our nonprofit. And right now we're just kind of driving the bus around because it's kind of cool that we have this big bus outside.
Is it a school bus?
The bus filled with people.
Or like a city bus?
Oh, no, this is a huge city bus.
A city bus.
Well, think of like one of those 57 seats on it.
Yeah, there you go.
57 seats. And for my husband's birthday, I had booked this restaurant, and like a lot of our family was in town, and I was like, we should take the bus. And that's what we did. It was
Oh
adventurous,
my
needless to
gosh.
say. So
I'm
my
so
husband
mad
went
I
got
missed
his.
I
it.
want a picture of you in the driver's seat, reaching
Oh
your
my
arms out to open
yes,
up
like
the
Yeah.
door.
hey.
Your
Well, she
little
can't because it's in her driveway, by the way. When she's talking
right.
about her yard, this thing is in her driveway. So, yeah.
Yes. So that is crazy in itself. So we're looking forward to that, and that's where we are. That's where I'm at now. So
Well,
Wow.
I
hustling.
love that you said that, other people were doing the same thing, maybe, or something similar, maybe not the exact same thing. I just think, I feel like there's, the folks who are without a home and a community, um there are a lot of them, right? So
Yeah.
if you see other buses, even if you see other buses around, you're still helping out, there's still the need for that. So I love that you didn't take, I love that you thought of it like, oh, somebody else is doing this too, we shouldn't. No, 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 you thought about it, who cares, somebody else is doing
Yeah.
it, we're going to do it too, we see the need, there's still the
Yep.
need. So that's great. I mean, you didn't stop at any like weird objection. There was no objection to it. It wasn't. So that's awesome that you kept going with that idea, even though maybe you saw
And
Oh
somebody else
yeah.
you
kind of doing
and
something similar.
you may have already thought about this, but I got an idea. It just came to me that there's an opportunity because when Jamie was talking, and not that you're in Jamie's town, but there's some Jamies around you that love to give and love to serve, and their gift is meals. Well, who else? What else does someone homeless need other than a shower? A meal. So being able
Mhm.
to
Yeah.
have occasions where there's collaboration. Oh, and we're collaborating with Jamie Meals on Wheels on, every first Sunday of the quarter. And then Jamie's, come in and feed them after they take a shower. They got to take a shower, then eat. After they take a shower, there could be other collaborations with other nonprofits that you partner up with.
Oh yeah, because we have a doctor that's on our board, and one of the things we're talking about is once we get started, she does mental health as well.
Ah,
So
yep.
that's one of the things we are going to incorporate is mental health, because a lot of the people that are actually unhoused, believe it or not, they want to be unhoused. I don't think people
Mhm.
understand that it's a
Mhm.
Mm,
community for them, and a lot of the situations is because they have a lot of needs for mental therapy. And with that being said, that's why we wanted to ensure that, we're not trying to take you out of your community. We're
mm.
just coming in to help you in your community,
I
whether
love
it
that.
is like giving them
If you want
clothes.
it. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah.
if
yeah.
you
If you
want it,
want it,
right.
here it is. It's on a big bus.
Mhm.
We're gonna drive up. You get a 5 minute shower. You could use the restroom. You could shave, and then we're gonna leave you with a pair of scrubs with our logo on it. And then eventually, like I said, we're gonna add. We will add like barber, like for them to get their haircut, as well as mental health. Will be added as well because again, some people may not be completely unhoused. Maybe they got evicted from their home, and they still need to go to work, but they've been sleeping in their car.
Yeah.
They
Mm.
could come and take a shower before they go to work. So whatever we
I
can
think the
do
thing that I
to.
really like about what you're doing, Mary, is that I think that sometimes people see a need like you guys did and they get tripped up with trying to solve the whole entire problem. Like, we
Yeah.
need to solve, like, why is this person homeless and why do we need to do all the things. And you just took one little part of it. You filled this gap that
Yeah.
could help them get to the next level and not get
Right,
phased by the whole big picture of solving the homelessness in Atlanta.
Yeah.
It's
right.
just this one little piece of the puzzle. And I think, I mean, how good do you feel when you take a shower? I mean, it is
Yeah.
life changing
But
sometimes and
yeah,
it's a big deal.
Yeah.
The other thing
Yeah,
I was going to ask you,
exactly.
Mary, though, this is kind of going off on another subject, but as you're talking, I feel like Jessica, like Jamie, I feel like there is this, your confidence, I would love to bottle that up and sell it. And
Yeah.
I think that I just wonder where does that come from for you? Like, when you talk and you make decisions, you're moving through life, you are exceptionally confident. And where does that come from for some of our listeners that may be like, I want to do that stuff, but I don't know how to take that first step?
right. I think for me, like having amazing women around me, I even tell this to my daughter. Like, you should always want people that you feel like you are like them, or they're even better than you. I always want to strive to be, as, because I feel like in any relationship, friendship, partnership, um, when you're married, you need to bring something to the table that's going to help the next person.
Mm-hmm.
If not, then what am I sitting here for?
Mm-hmm.
If I cannot help you anyway, even if I'm just a good listener, I don't have anything to give you, but maybe I'm a great listener. It could be something as small as that. But with women, building up the confidence of a woman, like every day, I always say, Lord, I thank you for allowing me to get up this morning and rise and make today better than yesterday. Yesterday could have been amazing.
Yeah.
But I want today to be better than yesterday. Whether it is talking to you guys, telling you, what I'm doing, what you guys doing, filling a void for me. I think, again, I think my confidence have come from being a person in leadership with DirectBuy, honestly. I was in leadership at a very young age. I mean, I became a customer service manager at the age of 22, 23 years old. I was super young and in a management role. No one gave me a pamphlet, just like they don't give you one for motherhood. It says, this is what you should do. It's trial and error. And then I used that. And then even where I work at now, our leadership team is all women. And we get along so well. We all bring something to the table. From our administrator to the director of nursing, to our patient care managers, to HR, business office manager. We're all women. So, and I think that's what builds my confidence, so knowing at the end of the day, I made great decisions and I'm able to sleep well at night knowing that I made great decisions.
Yeah.
No,
What do you
that.
think you would say to, I don't want to say like your younger self necessarily, but maybe your daughters or your children, like knowing what you know now about your life journey so far and giving back and being a hustler and being successful at 22, 23 years old and being a young mother? If you could say, two things, what would you say, or what advice would you give to, or maybe you do already give
Right.
Oh,
to
she does.
your daughters, any young women that you might come across,
All of
yourself
them.
as a young woman? What would be a couple of things you'd say to them, knowing what you know now?
Don't be afraid. Try things. Like literally try things. I told my nephew, I told my son, who lived this to the fullest until a year ago. Mess up a million times in your 20s. Fall as many times. You don't know what you really want to do in your 20s. You don't know. And it's okay to make mistakes. But I said, but before you're 30, the day before you're 30, you need to know what exactly I want to be. So my son lived that. I should have never told him because he was like, oh no, I'm living life. I'm gonna fly everywhere.
Remember what you said?
Yes. And now he has an amazing job.
Yeah.
He's in a sales position. I'm like, yes, like he's in sales and he is a salesman. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
So that's one of the things I've told. I always tell them, my daughter, she is a hustler. Like she's not afraid to try things. Her and her boyfriend makes clothes. Like they knew we were having a party on Saturday. They were up all night making shirts. They're amazing too. Like these shirts are awesome. She's kind of shy when it comes to selling things too, because at the parties, her boyfriend is like, let's go walk around and ask people. She was like, no, if they want it there, come over here, So she's like,
I'm the creator.
Yes.
You'd be the salesman.
Yes.
I'll be
so
the
she's
creator.
like, no, don't approach anyone. And my husband is like, no, go approach everyone.
Right.
So, so with that said, it's good because he says, her boyfriend says, I'm afraid of rejection too, but you never know if people are going to say yes or no unless you ask.
Unless you ask. Yeah.
And I said, what? That is really a good point, because even in the acting world, you will get told no 101 times, but it only takes that one person to say yes.
Right.
Amen,
One
sister.
shot.
It only takes that one person.
One person.
Yes.
Give me
And
one
now,
shot.
they sold to me. I bought about 4 shirts for like the boys and all that.
Of course.
He posted
Good
it
mom.
though. He posted it on Instagram. They already have orders. They're like, oh my God. Like, and then they met a girl at Whataburger, the new Whataburger. And I don't know, they just started talking to her because she's a talker like me. And this girl's going to be their ambassador because she has thousands and thousands of followers. So my daughter says she would pay her monthly, to help her sell shirts.
I love that.
Yeah.
We might
So
need the name and number of that young lady, by the way.
I know. So yes.
So right.
Yes.
Speaking
So
of, so I know that we're at time, but I want to ask this last question because again, I'm thinking of all of the episodes that we've gotten some great feedback on. We did an episode that was titled Dash, and it came from a sermon that at our church that my pastor did, and he talked about the dash and basically talking about the point in which you were born and death and that in between, right? The dash on your tombstone specifically. And we talked about what is that one thing like legacy when you think about, or maybe you do or don't think about your funeral and what they're saying about you when you're gone, your children, your grandchildren. What is that one thing that you want to be known for when you check out of here?
I think that I literally want to be known as that girl lived her life to the fullest and she was a good person. And y'all don't bring flowers to my funeral. Bring a pair of shoes.
Oh, okay.
We're dancing.
Yes. Bring my own shoes. And then anyone that wears a 6.5, they can take them home.
I love that. I love that. All right. Well, listen, this has been an absolute pleasure. We are so excited and so honored, Mary, that you will go down as our first guest. There will be millions after you. But as we were kind of talking about this, it just came and it just felt right for all of us. So thank you so much. And I want to give you also a quick opportunity to share where can people find, if they want to be part of this, they want to donate to this bus, this great thing that you guys are doing. How can they do that? Where can they find you guys?
We have a website. It's www.showerupatl.com.
Okay.
So you can most definitely go visit our website. It's an up and coming website. I just want to throw that out there,
Right.
Because we haven't completely launched yet. But when we do, we will have photos of our first shower that we give. And there will be many more.
From the neck up, right?
Yes, the first person that comes out that's happy. The first person that comes out that extremely happy that they're feeling good. Yes.
See, and I just say anything.
Or the towels? No. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
I love it.
But I want to say I'm smiling so big because of course I'm always happy, but this has really filled my heart with so much love that you guys have, that Jessica, that you reached out to me. I was super excited about this. I was like, me? Okay. That she
So
says,
great.
yes.
And I didn't tell her to wear that shirt, y'all. I did not tell her to wear it. I didn't do that.
No,
She knows what's
she
up.
did
She
not,
knows
but I needed to represent,
Yeah.
So
And you can't see it, but it's actually cute. It's a little
Yes.
cut off like what?
Yeah, it cuts off right
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
that
I
is
just want
cute.
to say I'm honored.
Oh, that's
I
our
am honored.
merchandise.
Yes. It was an honor, guys, and a pleasure. And I love what you guys are doing. 3 women that, it's just, this is amazing. I remember when Jessica first came to me about it. And, a lot of times people say things, but they don't put it in action. So, and I tell people, because that's always the hardest thing. I tell everyone has an idea, but the best idea is the one that you put in action.
Yeah.
So
Go.
once you put it in action and don't, like I said, I think a lot of people are fearful. I've been that person, and now I'm not afraid because I'm not afraid of losing money. I'm not afraid because we waste money on so many things. Why not, feel like that you gave it to a good cause? Like my husband said, when you think about it, always know that it's going to a good cause. So
Yep. I love it. I love it.
So great.
Well, listen, this has been a pleasure. We could really go on for hours. We could have done a whole marathon here. But listen, you can find us, Lead Like a Girl Lab. I'm trying to get these TikTok of it, y'all. I'm trying. So I'm gonna need your support. Lead Like a Girl Lab. Share, share, share. We want to get our followers up. We want you guys to share these messages. We hope we're bringing value. Please comment on our YouTube page. Give us some feedback. Tell us what you want to talk about. Tell us some of the episodes that you really enjoyed. We are here to inspire, to encourage, and uplift all of our sisters. So we are out. Thank you.